Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here and welcome to The Object. Now this is a game that's been translated by the Memories of Fear translation team, and it involves a headless man who has lost his head, obviously, and he wants to find out his memories while at the same time being trapped inside a mansion. Must search for clues as he tries to escape a mansion, with or without with a solution to both of these mysteries. So let's now get into the game and see what is up. This is quite a short game, but it does involve a few endings. 5 of them, in fact. Where am I? I can't remember anything. Let me scratch my head for a second to see what I can jumble up with. Jumble up. Hello, it appears my head has been completely looped off. Then how are you speaking, man? How are you talking without a mouth? It's called game physics. It appears that my head has been completely looped off. How I can still move remains a mystery. For now, I should find some light or something to warm myself up. I would say to light the way. Yes, wonderful. It is always good to see the commands for any new players. Obviously for me it is good to be acknowledged of this, but I don't need them. But it's still nice to have them there. I'm a experienced player of these games, but I still like to think that I am completely a beginner because of my talent for solving puzzles in these sort of games, which is bare minimum. So let's go through the controls, shall we? Z/enter/space is to confirm or interact. X key, or the escape key, is to go to the menu, and arrow keys obviously is the movement commands. Lovely. First thing I notice is this chest. It's a chest. When I open it, I can see a box of matches with only one match still left inside. Do I want to strike the match? Yes. The flame from the match suddenly ignites and becomes a replacement for my missing head, lighting up the vicinity. This should prove helpful in finding my way out of here. Acquired firehead. Oh dear. This is bad news. It's a puzzle or something of the like. The colour is too faded from it to make sense of what it once was. Oh dear. I see something shining inside. Let's acquire the small key for our endeavours. Lovely. What's next? Ah, this is an 8-tile movement system. That's very nice. A layer of dust lines the top of a dresser. There is a bunch of uninteresting and useless junk inside the drawers. It's actually quite a unappreciated mechanic. Rather than just left, right, up and down, you can go top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. I just find it to be a really nice mechanic, especially in games where these kind of movements are key to survival. The Witch's House. Nightmare of the Snow. Okay. The door won't open. Well, specifically the extra mode of the Witch's House. Looking closely, it's apparent that the door has been frozen shut. A fire might be able to melt it loose. Should I melt the ice on the door with the firehead? Yeah. The ice on the door has melted, allowing myself free passage. However, the question still remains as to why I was trapped in here in the first place. Well, wait, this blood was not here before. What the heck is going on? I'm guaranteed that there was not blood in here originally. Maybe it was just me. Let's see what's going on. There is an unlit lantern lying here. I wonder if there's some way to light it. This fire is so useful. Light the lantern. Acquired lantern. Now I don't have to worry about having a constant light source on me anymore, especially when I am not wearing the appropriate head. However, my mind drifts back to thoughts of why I am trapped in here in the first place. What was I doing here? Where is this place? Is this my home? Or is it someone else's home? I can't recall at all. Leaving that aside, I guess my next step is to find a way to leave this room. Okay, so how do we save in this game? Oh, we can save at any time. Lovely. I love the ability to be able to save the game at any time. It is just so nice to have. otherwise, sometimes we just wander around aimlessly just to try and find a save point, and then meet some unfortunate demise, and then go through the entire game again. Anyways, I'll stop rambling now, FlareBlitzed. Take the light bulb. There is a lit light bulb inside the lantern. Should I take it with me? Absolutely. Acquired light bulb. You can change the current head you are wearing by accessing equip in the menu. What's the papers down here? Something seems to be scribbled on these pieces of paper. I can't quite make sense of it. Maybe we'll need some glasses. Or a head. It's a fireplace. It's not being used at the moment, but it looks like a fire could be started if one wanted. I wish we were a pyromaniac and we can start this up. What about if we have the fire head? Lovely. Let's start it up. I start a fire in the fireplace. I can hear a sound coming from somewhere. We unlocked a door. Predominantly. It's a clock. The second hand makes a pleasant ticking sound as it moves around clockwise. A slender sword is on display. It appears to be a prop. Oh no! Okay, another thing that you can't quite make sense of. So blood goes this way, so I assume that... Okay, it won't open. Well, fine then. We'll just be on our way then. And our merry way. We do not know the identity of our protagonist. Although we are a confined man, so... Beyond this door looks like a study. There's a lot of books there, so exposing them to a head engulfed in flame is probably not the best of ideas. I should try re-entering with either a better head or without this one. Okay, we'll go with the light bulb head, thank you very much. Wait, what about our business suit? Can we wear something else? Why do I want to remove that? I think that's a good idea. So that I can expose my body to the outside world. Hello, can I equip the firehead back on? Oh my god, I should leave the study if I plan to continue. Damn it! I literally thought we could get away by bypassing that. Well done, developer. You seem to bypass that. Nice. Good. I can't seem to read the words that are written on these books. Maybe there's a head I can wear that can understand words better. Maybe you should just get a head of your own. This book is considerably thick and heavy. Thick. Take the book. Acquired dictionary. Oh, lovely. Hold on. The books here are all filled with technical jargon and terminology. To summarize the topic of these books, they all seem to be related to biology and living organisms. The same. It's a photo album. It contains numerous photos of a baby girl with her parents. The parents, a young man and woman, are all smiling in the photos. They're going to meet an unfortunate demise some point down the path. The sorrowful path that is known as life. This isn't a book. Rather, it is a book-shaped storage box. There's a key inside. We will acquire the key. Hang on, we've already got a key for something else, haven't we? A key found in the study. It might be used to unlock a door somewhere. A very tiny key in the storage room. It feels like one could lose its key at a moment's notice. That is why we must always have a special pocket for small keys and stuff. There isn't anything else of interest here. Okay. This bookshelf moves when I touch it. Oh, lovely. It's an underground passage. Let's look at the rest of this room first, though, shall we? Before we investigate further. There are a bunch of books on this shelf. They all seem to be science fiction novels. The same. There are a few journal entries here written by a researcher. Should I read them? Read journal entry from 3-2. From the 2nd of March. I was about to say the 3rd of February, but I realised that there's no such thing as a 27th or a 19th month in a year. 19th week or 27th week. Yes. But then the other figure wouldn't make any sense. Let's go from the beginning. On the 2nd of March, the newspaper reported about a murder yesterday. From what I've read, the victim's head has been cut off. Naturally, given my prior research, I suspected it had to be the work of a headless being. The headless beings are creatures who will kill human beings and take their head as their own. Then that headless being, now wearing their victim's head, will live out their life under the guise of that person unbeknownst to those around them. So what if you put, let's say, the head of one gender and then... Anyways, it may sound like I am making all of this up only to get a few scares out of people, but I am telling the truth. And I am also one of those kind of people who bends the truth because I love to write in papers. Not all journalists are like that. I mean, some journalists are always going to be of that kind of sketchy nature where they're going to put out a biased agenda or rip the truth up and then put the truth back together, but just in scrambled pieces. Like, you rearrange the words so that it means something in which you want to publish, dear journalist. Not all journalists are like that, though. Anyways, these creatures do exist, which brings me back to the newspaper. To simply headline it as "Murder in somewhere city, a birdman killer," and place it as a story on the back of a newspaper, all they did is make it sound like it was any other crime in the city. Let's read an entry, which is nearly 2 months later. I have found papers written by other researchers on the headless beings and have come to understand them a little more. The first point I would like to get across is that the headless beings are no different biologically from human beings, aside from the lack of head above their neck. Point number 2. The headless beings instinctively attack human beings on sight to take their head as their own. However, contradictorily, there have been times where they do not feel the need to attack humans. Further verification is necessary. Point number 3. Whether the headless beings possess human intelligence and self-awareness is unclear. There is no consensus on this matter. And the last one, on the 19th of May, which is literally 2 weeks, 2 weeks before, well, 2 weeks after the release of this game, apparently. It is actually indeed. Yesterday, another beheading murder happened. Could this really be the work of a soulless, headless, soul headless being? But then again, it could be soulless. I'm not entirely wrong there. I just read the word incorrectly. Could a single headless being have a reason to kill more than one human being? On Monday, I would like this head. On Tuesday, I would like this head. And on Wednesday, I would like to get another head. And then all the other days, I just select other heads. Or could it truly be as simple as if any killing could be called simple? Open and shut murder case. There is so much we don't know about these headless beings. Obviously, having the opportunity to examine one of them close and personal would be the best method. It would be best to tie them up first, though, before they cut your head off. No, what am I thinking? That's just asking to be killed. Post-mortem dissection would logically be the most ideal way to learn more about them. Aside from my studies, I got the chance to spend the rest of my day today playing with my daughter at the park. It's been far too long since we last spent quality time together. I've been busy myself with my work as of late. It was the least I could do as her father. Plot twist, I'm not a father. Me personally. Ah, more entries. These ones are before this one. Oh, I should have read them from left to right. Oh well. Read journal entry from the 4th of February. At last I have finally discovered that these life forms, I don't know how to pronounce that first word, which I call the headless beings, to be a reality. They are no mere urban legend. With this, I will no longer be mocked by my colleagues that my bunk theories are just make-believe stories. My wife's worries should now be eased. Are you sure about that? Unless your wife is one of those headless beings. When I looked deeper into this 10 days later, there seems to be remarkably few individuals who are studying these headless beings like I am. Surely there must be plenty of these headless beings roaming the world as we know it. Unfortunately, there is such little research in existence on them. Not to mention the internet is filled with fake garbage websites sensationalizing people's fears of the unknown. That's too true. Making headway into my field will be fraught with difficulties. Propaganda. The books here... Blah, 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 blah. Hey, they were the same ones as these ones over here. How dare you? It's a newspaper clipping about a recent serial murder case. It seems the victim had their head cut off. What a surprise. According to this clipping, these killings occurred in that city. The huge headline warns citizens about a Birdman. So did the human cut off the head of a bird then, and then wear that as a head? It must have been a pretty big bird though, like a raven. Or an eagle. Or an ostrich. If this Birdman, what they're calling the killer, I seriously hope I'm not at that city now. I'm sorry I cannot pronounce that name. There is a journal here with a small lock on it. I used the small key to open the lock. It looks to be some kind of experimentation log written by a researcher. Should I read it? Of course we should read it. On the 6th of June, I've done it. I was able to obtain a young male headless being. I'll omit the details here. Let's just say I had to pull a few strings with my contacts to make it happen. This journal shall be a logging of my observations. The boy headless being, hereafter referred to as A for brevity, is as follows. Height 3'10", without head. Weighs 44 pounds. Age, taking into account the lack of head, it's likely that A is between 8 to 9 years old. Maybe slightly older than my own daughter. Just do not let him be near your daughter, man. But then again, that could be the ultimate downfall of this story, is that somehow you let this headless being be near your daughter. Right. I built a room in my mansion to use as a secret compartment, so I can safely raise A there. I will keep the temperature at 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity at 50% as I observe him. The 5th of June. Room temperature 77.72 degrees Fahrenheit. It wouldn't be Celsius, by the way. Unless you fancy having a slow, painful death. Humidity 48%, weather sunny. Today, A seems calm. Despite having no head, he seems to have no problem with processing both visual and auditory information. I gave A meal consisting of cooked meat, fish, canned soybeans, and boiled vegetables with a glass of water. But A didn't exhibit any signs of interest in eating or drinking. Will A be alright without nutritional substance? I also tried everything to keep A's existence a secret from my family. I brought A into the mansion late at night. I kept voices and noises to a minimum to assure they don't find out. minimum. The experimentation log about the young headless boy called A continues for 3 more months. The final entry reads, in September, the 9th of September, room temperature 76.64 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity 53%, weather cloudy. A started to act violently. Nothing has changed up to this point. The environment is the exact same, so the reason of this change is unknown. In accordance to the agreement made at the first time, at the time of my contact, who gave me A in the first place, the unheadless being will be cold. Also mean assassinated, murdered. Hanged. No wait, hanging wouldn't work on this case. Yikes! After that, I would perform an autopsy on why A turned violent. I will be requesting assistance from my peers. Due to A's striking resemblance to a little human boy, I found myself hesitant to dispose of his corpse. However, the safety of my family comes first. A is not human. A is a wild creature. I am positive I am not making a mistake here. The experimentation log for the headless being named A ends here. There are also future entries containing cryptic mentions of further discoveries regarding the headless beings. I can't help but shake the feeling that this researcher has raised and killed several other headless beings in the course of his studies. Strange. It also occurs to me that he didn't mention requesting any outside assistance in the culling of his specimen. Ouch. There is a 10,000 yen note hidden between the pages of one of the books. Maybe this is the owner's secret savings. I'll put it back where I found it. Or I could just take it as my own. No. There's a dictionary here. When I flip through the pages, there's one specific word that was underlined. Object. The objective. The objective. The objective of this game. Noun, pronunciation, objective. A thing, person, or matter to which thought or action is directed. Verb, to express or feel disapproval, dislike, or distaste. Be averse. To state, claim, or cite in opposition. I object. There are a few relatively new journal entries here written by a researcher. Should I read them? Is this before or after these other events? I've stumbled upon a most unsettling hypothesis. What if these headless beings were once normal human beings? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Exophilius? Having a head human beings. What if some kind of power caused humans to turn into headless beings? No doubt the more I ponder it, the more it makes my skin crawl. Judging from the basis of this entry, it seems to be before the ones on the top of the library. So the books on the top of the library actually have entries which are within the new year. I have no proof whatsoever of this hypothesis, so I have no reason to publish it. What's worse is that this Birdman killer has still not been caught yet. To think a murderer, not to mention an actual monster, is lurking around in my very city. It's terrifying. Okay, on Boxing Day. I saw him. I saw that Birdman on my way home. I happened to witness that bird-masked killer carrying a dead body. The Birdman was going to behead them with that cleaver of his. Wasn't he? Fear took control of me and I ran the moment he started to chop off the victim's head. I would too. I never wanted to run into that bird-masked killer again. I think it'd be best if I stay indoors with my family for a couple of days. It's not going to chase the Birdman away, man. It's a stack of papers. Did they plan to throw these away? Look at that. It's a cup of tea. It's already gone cold. Well, that's useless then. It's an unfinished letter. The professional style of writing leads me to believe it's a business letter. And nothing there. What about this chair? Okay, there's nothing on that chair. Okay, lastly that. Or this table. This lovely table. Something seems different about this bookshelf from the rest. Yeah, the fact that we've already moved it. Wonderful. I'll save in a different slot. There could be different outcomes because of reading or not reading the journal entries. I should equip the light bulb head when it comes to dark scenarios. Can we... There's something written on these pieces of paper. Should I read them? Yes. The writings of these pieces of paper appear to be written quite haphazardly, as if they were in a rush. They read, "Who's there? Those fools told me those bees don't have our intellect. Yet they do. Their intelligence matches ours. Because if they didn't, then this would never have happened. Did I write this when I was alive? Or did the killer write this? Or plot twist. You are the killer." What are these ones that we missed out? Okay, so we can't read these ones, right? The fireplace has been ignited. It's quite warm. I don't know why, but I was thinking that maybe we could read these now since we have the dictionary head. Anything else of this caliber? Nothing else inside. Have we checked? Have we checked again? Have we checked a third time just to make sure? The colour's too faded for me to make sense of what it once was. Okay. My thought process has been jumbled because of that. Because I literally thought that if we go back here now with the dictionary head, we can make do with what is said on here. I won't open it just now. We will go through here. Okay, maybe not. Throw that out of the window. It's now time to go in here then. Unlock it. Unlocked, but someone dropped a cleaver here. There is blood stuck to it. Could this be a murder weapon? It might explain the trail of bloody footprints that continue down the hallway. This is actually the scene of my own murder. Then that means the killer must have discarded my body in the storage room after finishing the deed. Which brings to mind the question of why I was murdered. And how am I once again able to move when I'm clearly dead? It's like I've become some sort of monster. Where could my head have ended up? Did the killer take it with him? Is the killer still even in this house? Or did the killer already make their escape? For now, my #1 priority will be getting out of this place, because it might behoove me to find out where my head is at the same time. The more I think about it, how did I originally look like? I can't recall anything about my face or any remarkable features at all. I'll take this cleaver with me for self-defense in the meantime. Who knows what's out there? Acquire cleaver. You can obtain an ending now by leaving through the front door. However, you are free to search the other rooms for more clues depending on what you find. The ending might change. Well, just for convenience sakes, we will leave. It's a compass. We'll take the compass with me. The lantern light is reflected on some of the ornamental item in the some sort of ornamental item in the drawer. Is this a key? Decorate a key. I thought you said we could leave and have an ending through this part. I can't seem to read the words. Okay. Oh. Oh, I see. My bad. I was still thinking in the fact of it we still had the other head involved. It's a calendar. The owner of this room seems very diligent. All of the days leading up to January the 10th have been crossed out with an X. Also, January 15th has been marked with a star. But the words our anniversary is written beneath it. Okay. Fair play. However, none of them are of any interest. Another room over there. How do we get there, though? I thought... Outside I can see the moonlight reflecting against the snow-white covered ground, making the dark night seem quite bright. I thought going to that room would lead to the ending. Or an ending. It's a photo, a young man between his little girl wearing a carefree smile. This must be the family who lives here. Could this young man in the photo be me? It's no good, I can't remember a single thing. Not even with this dictionary in my head. I can't make heads or tails. Literally can't make heads, literally. Dresser, there's some men's clothing inside. And likewise there's some women's clothing inside too. Alright. There's no run function. Rose! The red rose in this vase is slightly wilting. Oh dear, looks like it needs some water. How does one escape this place without exploring too far into the depths? Now I'm getting puzzled. It literally said that if we exit from there, then we can acquire an ending. Predominantly, I would thought it would be that door. Maybe it's another door entirely. Oh, the front. Ah, okay. It's the corpse of a man. I wonder who he was. I don't know. It's a landscape painting. I don't understand its value. Yes. I guess I should leave this place for now. I wonder if going to a police would be my best course of action. Yeah, I get this feeling like if I were to walk out of here in this state, I would cause a shock to the public. Maybe I should have worn a more pleasant looking head. I got it. I'll just borrow this guy's head. Then I'll leave the remainder of his body buried somewhere. The police will be none the wiser. All what matters is that they got informed of this some way or another. What is that saying again? Every man knows his own business best. Eventually the police will figure out who killed who soon enough, and the killer will be brought to justice. So there's no real reason for me to get myself any more involved in this mess. They're actually the developers. And all of the different resources used for the make of this game, including visuals, audio, effects, background noises, programming, or scripts, however you want to call it. And stuff like that. Wolf RPG editor and graphic maker. Special thanks to people who playtested my game, those who blah 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 blah. Okay. To everyone who played the object, thank you. English version by Memories of Fear. End. That's just one of a few possible endings. Okay folks, so we're going to come back to this game in the next time, and hopefully we'll be able to find at least 2 more endings of the game itself. If not, we'll get all of them in the next time. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next time of The Object. I'm not sure which ending that was, either ending 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. They're not indicated at all when you get the ending itself, but maybe it's just like, here's an ending, and then here's a similar ending, but it's just a different variation of it. But I always like it when if there's multiple endings in the game, it's clearly illustrated which ending it is within the game. Also with a nice title as well, so it kind of gives that ending kind of like a meaning to it. Well, an additional meaning to it, sorry. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next time of The Object. Have a good day and take care of yourselves.